So in this technological age, how exactly can you safeguard your information? This morning, we have internet security expert and professor Dr. Gerald Hughes with UTPA with more on how you can do this. Let's talk about iCloud for a second, because I call it, it's very complex, but I call it, it's almost like your brain. So you're storing all these different things and almost like memories, and you can put those memories at the back of your brain, but eventually you can bring those memories back if you really want to. Tell our viewers how that works.
Well, iCloud runs machines of their own. They have servers that are computers located somewhere, and you sign in and use those. They have something called access control that allows you to get in and not somebody else. There is a really foolproof way, or at least better than the celebrities were using, to help your iCloud account. If you use a passphrase, you want to make a short sentence that's more than 14 characters. Combine 3 or 4 words that means something important to you, and it's very, very hard for the hackers to guess, and that'll help. Another one that you could do is to encrypt your material before you put it up. If you go ahead and buy the full version of WinZip, this is the easiest way, it's not expensive, and you make a zip file. Don't upload your photos. Oh, the zip file, even if they compromise your account, they still can't open the photos.
And I think the problem is that I know that when I first saw that Apple was starting this iCloud service, you have all these different devices from them, right? A tablet, a phone, a computer, and you don't really know what it does. You just know that it always asks you, do you want to back everything up to your iCloud? And you just say yes because you think that's what you need to do, but you don't necessarily have to do that.
Well, the reason you got iCloud in the first place was because it's convenient, and that is convenient. It backs it up for you. You don't have to think about it. That's a default setting that's in there somewhere, right? And so if you have these other devices, then it's going to back them up, and then it's going to be available across them. Maybe you don't want that. It's like Facebook. There's lots and lots of privacy settings in Facebook, and there's defaults for all of them. If you just take what they hand you without looking at it, then you may end up exposing stuff that you don't want to. There's a lot of work involved with it. There's no way around to get around the work requirement of real security.
That's right. And it'll actually back up not just your contacts, but your pictures, websites that you may have visited, and that can be a problem, especially for security, because we do a lot of online banking. We have a lot of passwords for our Hotmail, Gmail accounts, and also if you have children as well and they go on the computer, there's various things that they can actually end up coming across.
That's right. Depending on the news you may read or the movies that you download on Netflix, if those things are just left there in the history and not protected by a separate account, then children may be looking at stuff that's not really appropriate for their age. You have to make a risk assessment about that.
Let's really get into passwords, because I know that that's the primary way to really safeguard yourself from hackers.
There's so many passwords now. We're in the midst of a password explosion, and they tend to fall around things that you know or things that you have. The really great way is to have a 2-step authorization. So you know the password, and then they send you one separately, like on your cell phone, and you type that code in. They just created that code that moment. There's no way for a hacker to know that. iCloud did have this, but only on some parts of their service. Now I believe they're spreading it out to the rest of it. You want to look for the 2-step authorization. Also, security questions, the best sites will let you write your own question. Don't answer the one that says mother's maiden name. That's public records. Anybody can look that up. But if you invent one yourself, and don't make it your favorite something or other, because you've already put that on Facebook, right? So it needs to be something, again, that's important to you, and it's some work, but it's worth writing your own question.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate your time, and you can get this full interview on valleycentral.com. Stick with us. A last look at your weather and news coming up in just a couple minutes.